everybody. Welcome back. Good to see you. Paul Trani here with the one and only Jesús Ramirez.
Hey, Paul. How's it
What?
going?
Good to see you, man. Good to see you,
Likewise.
buddy.
Good to see you,
Oh,
man.
yeah.
I
We
feel
got
like
to
I
hang
see
out.
you all the time now.
I know. You're sick of me. You've been sick of me.
Yeah.
I'm
When are
only
you
good
gonna go
at-
back home, man?
I don't know. I'm hard to get rid of. I'm like a bad rash or something.
Yeah.
No, I'm good in small doses.
Yeah,
But
there
I
you
was
go.
super fun seeing you last night. We had
Yeah.
a Firefly event. You were there, sort of front and center, just staring me down.
Well, like
making
I
sure
said,
didn't-
I wanted to take notes to have something to talk about today. And
Yeah.
I need to make sure I say it before you
Before?
say it. Yeah.
Exactly. You're the innovator. Like, just got to say it before, and I love that. But give Jesús a warm welcome. Where can people find you if they don't know you? Can you just say a little shout out to yourself and put yourself on the spot? Is that okay?
Yeah. Hey, Jesús, how's it going? Good to see you. Shout outs to myself. No, you can find me at Photoshop Training Channel on YouTube. That's the website. If you want to learn Photoshop, that's one of the places where you can go online and learn a couple Photoshop tips and tricks.
Yeah, a little a ton of content, and I like how you're prolific. Totally jealous of you. But that's why I think you're such an awesome resource, and I'm so happy to have you today. So
Thank you, man. I
feel free to
appreciate
say
it.
hello.
Thank you.
Amazing and awesome. Amara applied for Firefly. Never heard back. Any tip how to get in? Get to know some people, like us or Adobe
Yeah.
Live, and I think the squeaky wheel gets the grease situation. So that's what I guess that's all you can really do is
Yeah.
honestly, if people have been waiting a week, I'm just hit me up through social media, and I'll just push you through.
And where can they find you on social media?
Oh, good question. PTRANI on Instagram, or Paul Trani on
There you go.
Twitter. Thank you. I wish so,
Blow them
yeah.
up on Twitter.
Blow them up. Oh, there we go. Blow up Jesús. So this is super fun. So we're going to dive into this. So last hour was all about creating branding, which is fun, sort of real world use case. And I think it was really inspiring. Today we're going to get a little weird. We're going to go sort of from the real world sort of situations or sort of real, animals, to something maybe a little bit more surreal is the idea. So this is what I mean by real. So dog in a sweater, it's a cat, in a sweater. You can type in realistic or hyper. I'm going to show you what happens when I do this too. We'll type that in. And look what happens. As I type in hyper-realistic, it puts it down here because it's actually a selection off to the side. So why do I have to type that in? But again, that's what I'm going for. Something, sort of hyper-realistic, super clean, super cozy into it. I feel like this cat's probably has some advice for you. He's
Yeah.
don't worry. It's going to pass. It's going to be fine. Come over, have a hot cup of tea, and relax. That's what that's given me.
I agree.
So we're already edging a little bit into the sort of maybe the unrealistic or just the fantastic, which I think will be super fun.
Yep.
Does
And
that
we're gonna
sound
be we're gonna be taking suggestions, right, from
good?
people
Oh
in the
yeah,
chat.
that's right.
Awesome.
So, and we were talking. Actually, if you don't mind switching to Jesús's screen, because that is awesome.
That is awesome.
Try
the prompt.
Super fun.
Look at that.
Try that. Oh, yeah. Look at that. It's just, again, just a fascinating psychedelic
And
caterpillar.
If you like the style, we can just change the name of the animal and do something else. I'll try a cat. I'll just change the
give it to a
caterpillar
kitty.
to cat and see what
Ooh.
we get.
And this is where it's things get fun.
It's like the cat sitting in a mushroom. That's actually... There you go. Look at that.
Yeah, that's very Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah,
And I'm into it.
I like it.
And this is good just to remember some of these words, psychedelic. I think it's super
And actually,
fun.
I heard a really good pro tip last
tell me.
night at the Adobe Firefly event that you hosted.
Oh, no, what? What are you talking
And
about?
that was to bookmark the page because the URL contains the prompt that you use, so you can always come back to it and use that prompt. So that's a very good tip.
Yeah, and we should still test that because it should be it should be the same images. I wonder, because it is running that prompt again. So there is a small chance that could vary a little bit,
All
just
right.
FYI. And then do a screenshot real fast too, if you don't mind.
Okay. I'll go ahead and paste that in Photoshop just to make sure I keep it. go into the bookmarks, and I just gotta remember where I saved it. That's the only problem. I have no idea where I saved it. There we go.
Yeah, that's funny.
And I don't know, man. I think it's gonna regenerate it, but at least the prompt is gonna be the same. So we'll see if they're any different.
Yes, I like it. And yeah, I'm trying a couple things too.
Ooh, so I'll do a screenshot and we'll compare.
Yeah, please do. This will be interesting.
Oh, it's slightly different.
Oh, good. Okay, yeah. So there is a little bit of difference.
Yeah, it's not
Again, it's running
exactly the
again.
same, but it's
Thank you for doing that. So again, let's.
pretty cool.
Yeah, that is fascinating. Which, again, that's why you want to hit download for a lot of these. I'm sure your downloads folder is getting a little robust,
Definitely.
potentially, and also actually, if you don't mind going in and you don't have to, but basically when you download the image, in the file name is the prompt too. So there's also
There you
that.
go.
So that is nice. All right, so I have some things that we thought we would work on, and you're already getting into it. So go ahead and switch over to my screen if you don't mind, because what we were thinking is doing a wooden cabinet. So this is the idea: wooden cabinet in a spacious old office, books on the bookshelves, generate. The idea is to kind of harken back to the day when there were a cabinet of curiosities. And I get us, there's a Guillermo del Toro Netflix series that I haven't really watched, but having a cabinet of just fantastical things. So, and that's what I think the internet, it was like the internet back in the day. It was like the weird internet, in physical form, where you had this cabinet of things, of information, and maybe weird animals or fascinating geodes and different things like that. So we're going to build out a cabinet of curiosities. Sound good?
I love it.
Cabinet of curiosities. We're going to need your help in sort of identifying the different little areas of things to put in this cabinet. Right?
like that
So that's
idea.
the idea.
I like it.
So super fun. Think like oddities. We're not going to get too weird or gory or anything. It's very PG, but I think it'll
There's
be
kids
fun.
watching.
Yeah, but isn't that fascinating? Or even the traveling, the traveling circus. Those traveling shows that would bring fascinating things around is kind of the interesting idea here. It's that's kind of where you learn about sort of the interesting, wild, fascinating things going on maybe in the world outside of a book. Let me know if you guys have questions. So butterfly display, thank you very much. We got him coming in. Lamb, that's what I'm talking about. And I'm also making a cabinet too. So yeah, you're generating some stuff. Yeah, it's awesome. Your bookshelf is much better than mine. That's more like it. And that's okay. That's perfect because you have the shelves. If you don't mind switching to Jesus's because he's doing a better job.
With the same prompt, ironically.
With the same prompt. And I love the windows off to the side.
I like this.
And that is just a wooden cabinet in a spacious old office, books on the bookshelves. All right, so again, refresh. Maybe I'll get some things like that. I'm going to switch this up to photo too and see what happens.
Yeah, and like you said, keep downloading. You never know what's going to work.
Yeah, keep downloading. We just need sort of a place to put things. Now, so I think, Jesus, I think this is a good thought, because right now I'm just generating a bookshelf. If I needed a cabinet personally, I could have Firefly do that.
Yeah.
I would probably use Adobe stock.
Right.
I'm you don't have to generate this out of hallucinate it. Just go to Adobe stock.
Right.
And download it. So that's my 2 cents there.
Okay.
I'm still using this, by the way, from Firefly. So I'm just kind of showing you the purpose of these. So, and mineral geode, love it. I'm first grabbing the cabinet, just like you are.
Yeah, and I want to get some ideas, so please leave them in the chat of what crazy cool animals or objects we could generate.
I like it. So let's try some of those. We have butterfly display and mineral geode. Which one do you want to try one of those?
I'll go with the butterfly.
Okay. Geode. I'm doing the mineral geode. I'm going to do mineral geode, spectrum, fractal light. I don't know what's going to happen. Maybe I'll do holographic. Bright mineral geode. Hyper realistic. So I don't know what's going to happen with the spectrum, but we'll see what happens as I kind of hit OK there. Amara wants to jump right on the wagon once they get access to Firefly. So here we go. Hey, there we go.
Ooh, that looks
Super
really
fun.
cool.
Yeah, so just use this. For these situations, like it looks great on this background, and I love the lighting right there, but I also might do on a neutral gray background or on white or something. I should probably do neutral brown since I know it's probably going to be on a brown shelf.
Yeah, yeah.
But
And
yeah.
also, you know
so
what?
look at how much cleaner this is, by the way.
I think it looks great. And I don't know if it'll work on Firefly, but a trick I have on Adobe Stock from when looking for images, I usually type up isolated background.
Oh,
So I don't know if it'll work on. Let me try that.
Oh yeah, try that. Yeah, if you don't mind, we could switch over to Jesus's
Yeah.
screen.
So this one has the butterfly display has a bunch of background stuff. So if I just type up isolated background, we'll see what we get. I'm not sure.
And also sometimes if you get things that are like too literal, like we just saw a second ago, sometimes it'll default to art, or you select art. Actually, that looks really good.
Yeah, so it looks like it gave us stuff without a background. So there you go.
Slow clap. I'm into it. I mean, personally, I like these raw elements and using them in Photoshop.
For sure.
Like, we can get even better with, like, butterflies. I think that's going to be a lot of fun.
I think so. And you know what? I don't know why, but I feel like adding the word neon in here. I want these things glowing, so maybe they'll glow.
Ooh.
I don't know.
So there we go.
Oh, they are glowing. Wow.
Yeah, I like that color palette. And that's all you added. It looks like, pretty darn close to what
What about isolated black background? Because now I'm thinking about blending modes in Photoshop and how I can incorporate like a screen blending mode on there.
See? Smart. Smart man. I'm trying something like a little unique too for this. And
This
we'll see
one
what
might
we
be
get.
good. Again, download it and see if I can use it.
So, somebody said like butterfly display. I guess this is very much like a butterfly display where you have them kind of like pinned. I guess that would be good. Yeah. And then like what other things can you add to that will like with like I don't know, like does it have glowing pastel wings or wings made of leaves or something like that. I'm just thinking of like a fantastical butterfly too.
Yeah.
But hey, I have my own job to do.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Sorry,
Leave me alone,
guys.
man.
Leave me alone.
Don't look at my screen.
Let me do my work. And like everybody wants to be an art director, huh? Like blah, blah, blah.
You're like that
Sorry.
hovering art director that Adobe Stock had a few years back.
I know,
Do we have
right?
one in here?
Might be over there probably. Oh, help us all. Ooh, that
Ooh,
one's
this one looks super cool.
electric.
Yeah, this is what I had in mind. The one on my top left here is the one I had in mind when I thought about that glowing butterfly.
Into it.
It's such a cool feeling too when the AI generates what's in your head. It's like, oh my God, this thing is reading my mind.
Yes. And just actually have it like kind of surprise you too. It's kinda, like when it has it, it's good that you kind of, I guess once you get better at it, like you know what to put in to get what you want.
Right.
But even if you don't know what you want, to kind of jump in there and see what it will give you.
I like that one. A purple penguin celebrating summertime on a beach in a hammock. All right. Oh man, people are gonna see how slow I type now. I'm like literally typing like this with one finger.
I am the same way. Ooh, all right. How's everybody doing today? Big shout out to Jacob doing
Doing all the
the
heavy
magical
lifting.
tech
Yeah.
work and keeping us on track for what we need to make. And making sure we're done in time, because we only have you for an hour, which is a bummer.
Oh yeah, I definitely like this penguin. I'm gonna keep him and place him somewhere in my scene.
Oh yeah, see, that's fun. That's a fun little guy hanging out.
Yeah, you know what? I think I'm gonna go with a nighttime bookcase. At daytime feels too. I don't know. I just feel like it seems more magical if it were nighttime.
Okay.
And by the way, you can hit the back button and then go back to stuff you previously generated. And I'm just gonna add night in here somewhere.
All right, yeah, let's see what you got. And we could always... more of a display case. All right, so Lem, I think, suggested the good old butterfly like case. So that's something like, if you wanted something in a case, I would generate all these elements like separately.
And then just pin them together, quote unquote, in Photoshop.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I would do. I'm trying to get some things going over here. Let's just go with this. All right.
I just keep adding keywords and seeing what comes up. Now I'm adding windows and a cityscape. I don't know if that's...
I know. I'm looking for like a cabinet or something. Like I just have a little podium type thing that I'm kind of working on. But this is oh yeah. Okay, got it. Okay, so like if you don't mind switching to my screen, this is just.
Oh yeah.
So again, I got this off Adobe stock. It just like
you're cheating.
Yeah, I cheated. But sometimes with realistic things, like generate a realistic bookshelf, I'm like, okay, just
Go find a realistic-
find Adobe stock, and I'm not even saying like go pay for it, because I can go to Adobe stock, and we can literally go to stock.adobe.com. Not only that, like I'll just change this to free, and we'll look at, bookshelf, and just see what we get. Sure enough, yeah, this is all I really need. Even like this platform, like this is I just need something cleaner, right? Like even this looks a little, like, again, it's free.
Right.
It looks a little a little fake, if we're being honest. But like even this is like a good starting point for making something.
Oh yeah.
So that's one thing I wish. Like, I wish there was somehow a hook for Firefly into Adobe stock, like even their free images or just Adobe stock in general.
Right.
Like, or a toggle, like, or even on Adobe stock, if I tried to search for something unique, if it launched Firefly or created some images. But again, this gives you time to kind of work on what you need to. Everybody could just follow along at home if you want to. I'm going to jump in here, sort of select this. We'll see what happens if I just do a content aware fill. And with varying results. So this is tricky because there's not a lot of like blank space I could like sample from. I don't know, Jesus, if you work this way. I would try this for a little bit.
Yeah.
To do this. And then what you can do is you could sample here. This is what I would do. You could use the patch tool. It doesn't really matter what. Like I can grab this, and then we will go to right over here. I want a patch tool, so I'm going to select it to the patch tool, and we'll kind of like move it over to try to sample some of that. So it's going to get a little funky. Really doesn't matter. All this is going to be covered up by something else, anyways.
Right.
So again, I wish I had a cleaner image. But let's just like give this a little spot for my geode and anything else you guys have going on.
Yeah, and plus that's gonna, when you place stuff in front of it, it's gonna cover a lot of the imperfections.
Oh, that's so nice. That's what I need. Speaking of covering it up, let's jump back out here. We'll go to our downloads and then grab that like mineral geode. I decided to try to put like the earth in there or something, but maybe we'll just try like this graphic. And again, this is how I'd work. Jump in, take that geode, drop it in. There it is. What do we know in Photoshop? Remove background.
There we go.
Make it a smart object. That's one short key. Actually, what is other than do you have any custom shortcut keys that you use in Photoshop?
Yeah, but they're usually like project based. If I'm working on a specific project that requires the same thing over and over again, then oftentimes I'll just do a custom keyword shortcut for that project. But I don't really have one that's specific for everything.
Okay. I think one that I did set up is because I make a lot of smart objects. I have a shortcut for a smart object.
That's I like that.
And by the way, I do this. Like this other tile, because I tile things a lot. I have a shortcut for that, and then consolidate and tile. I don't know.
I like that.
That's
and you know what?
nice.
I noticed that last night at the Firefly event that you made a smart object, and I was like, wait a minute. Did
Yeah.
you set up a keyword shortcut for that?
You're right. Of course you would. Of course you would catch that.
It's like, wait a minute. He just did something, and something happened. Wait, what was that? What was that magic?
Very keen of you, by the way. I love it. So also, and you're working on that. That's good.
Yep.
You're grabbing some stuff. I'll let
Yeah.
you do that. Nikki, you're just doing requests out there too, sort of doing faces. Ooh, dang it. Why did it kicked me out? Let's just sign back in, make sure everybody gets my email address. Bingo. Just kidding. We're on your screen now, by the way.
See, I'm also cheating. I'm into Adobe Stock now just because it wasn't generating exactly the bookshelf that I wanted, so I'm looking for something. And, I'm very picky, man. I don't know. This is becoming more challenging than it should be, so I'm just going to pick
I know.
I'm just going to
Isn't
pick
it
something.
hard?
I'm just going to pick something. I'm just going to put in night and then just see what happens.
Okay, there we go.
Okay.
Because you're picking the right mood, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And let's see, maybe...
I'm just going to use bookshelf night. There we go.
And then or you just take maybe photos or something.
Yeah.
It's up to you. Oh, there's a book there. The book is cool for me to put my little geode on that book.
I'm going to save that. And I just, when you're in Adobe Stock, you just click on that little heart and it saves it to your Creative Cloud library. And from there, you can put it in Photoshop. And if you like it, you can license it. But since it's free, it won't cost us a thing. All right, there you go. I'm going to stick with that. Ooh, you know
And that's actually pretty good too. I
yeah.
like that.
So I'm going to use all these elements. I'm going to use this element as my background element, and then maybe there's like a table or something closer to us. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, like is there? I like that concept of having like a platform, like some display thing might be kind of good, and maybe that's like the background. So also I might.
There we go. This
idea.
is gonna work, and we'll make it work.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Let me see, are there any miniatures, souvenir, Mount Rushmore? That's a cool one. Actually, that one might work well for the table the table ground plane thing I'm setting up here, because we have this close-up of a book, so maybe that'll work.
Yeah.
And you know what, I'm just gonna rasterize this layer. In other words, just make it pixels, and I'm just gonna do a selection here, and just extend it out, and look at that. Now we have a full table covering the entire canvas. Perfect. Now I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna fill up the rest of the image. I can do a simple content aware, should work. There we go, perfect. And this thing, I'll make it larger, and then it'll be in the background somewhere.
Yeah. Look at you, working it. Just keep track of the time. We have about 30 minutes.
30 minutes. Wow, time goes by so fast.
I know.
There we go. Look at that. And actually, here's a fun little trick. I don't know if it'll work, but I can try it. If you go into Filter and Blur Gallery, there's this super duper cool field blur that we can use here, and then we can just blur. We have this little dot here that you can drag anywhere if we want to. We don't need to do that in this case. We can just increase the blur, and now we have some depth of field in the image, which looks great. I don't think the light bokeh will do much in this case, but if we wanted to, we can just make that super super cool bokeh effect, but I don't think it's necessary. I think something like this for now.
I don't play with those effects very much, but you know, I think if you're familiar with photography, that's the stuff you recognize is the bokeh effect.
Yeah, and something that I'm noticing on the image that I have here, the original stock photo, you can see that the depth of field in the image is pretty shallow. I mean, even on this page here, you can see that it's really sharp when it's close to us, and as the page is getting further away from us, the blurriness is really strong. So I need to match that with my background. So that's what I was trying to do that there. And you know what? I don't know. I just keep thinking about it being nighttime. So I'm just gonna use one of these super cool color lookup adjustment layers, and they have these 3D LUTs that will essentially apply like an Instagram filter, so to speak. And you can add like a moonlight effect, or they have one called day to night, I think, somewhere in here. I know there's two, but moonlight is one, and I know there's another one in here that kind of makes it seem like it's nighttime that we could probably use as well.
Yeah, moonlight.
I could have sworn, or maybe it's foggy night. Maybe
maybe foggy night. There's futuristic bleak, but I don't know.
I could have sworn there was one called day to night, but maybe
there's
not.
moonlight. Do you see moonlight?
Yeah. So we can make some of this adjustments work. And if you are unhappy with how strong the effect is, you can just bring down the opacity a little bit, and there you go. And I think this is gonna work. I just gotta keep working on it more to bring in some of the elements that we downloaded. And I know I have that penguin that's gonna look super cool. I know I have that butterfly that's also gonna look super cool. So let's bring those in.
I'm into it.
This penguin is gonna be super awesome. I'm gonna do, I think you just did this, the remove background. So you can click on the little lock to make it into a regular layer, remove background, and hopefully I'll just get the penguin. We'll see. All right, it got a little more than the penguin, but that's fine. If I don't know what you like to do, Paul, but if something like that doesn't work, I just go to Plan B, which is the good old quick selection tool.
I do that too.
And then just,
I use the quick selection tool a lot.
Yeah. There we go. We got our cool little penguin. There he is. And I'm gonna move him over here. Oh, look, actually, I kind of like him back here. That's not exactly where I wanted to place him, but I kind of like him there. Convert him to a smart object. I don't have that cool fancy keyboard shortcut that Paul does. Maybe I should set it up, but you can go into filter, blur, and with him, I'm just gonna do a regular Gaussian blur. Just blur him a little bit. He's just peeking at us from the back there.
I'm just trying to play with some magical animals over here, FYI.
Cool. What do you have?
Yeah, let's go ahead and switch.
Yeah, let's see what you have.
Switch to my screen if you don't mind. And literally it's generating right now. So I was thinking of just a magical animal, and that's pretty much what I put in here.
I like that.
A cute, fluffy, brown, furry magical animal with horns, eyes closed. So, because again, it's on the shelf. Let's just download this one. And this is what I like, by the way. I could use this as, this might be the best image for it. And this also sparks ideas. But I could use this as, a reference image. So, cute, fluffy, brown, magical fish. So we're going to go from a magical animal to a fish, but look what it already.
Wow.
Actually, already generated these weird.
Kind of look like gremlins.
You're exactly right. Straight up gremlins. a little too fluffy, and this is where I might think about a magical fish in a display case. That I would be totally interested to see what we get into. Because again, we're getting too much into, the gremlins territory with this. So again, clear that, but it's lovely having that reference image. A colorful, magical fish, fantasy fish in a display case. And let's just see what it generated over here. Oh, it's already generating this. I took off that reference image, and it immediately generated this image, which is super fun. Looks like a puffer fish. So again, is there a new version, a new type of puffer fish? Hard to say words.
Yeah.
And that we could generate. Sam Peterson, what's up, man? He uses moonlight. This is what Sam uses for night. You know what I'll do sometimes for the, like you also play with the blend modes if you're using
Right.
The
Color lookup?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So here's my color. A little too bright, so I wouldn't say colorful. I would say a magical fantasy fish. And its display says surreal.
Magical fantasy fish.
I guess we're gonna find out what's gonna happen here. So let us know if you guys have questions. I know some people want access to Firefly. I wish I could just open the door and you're on the other side and you come in. I wish it was easy, but you know, such is life sometimes. Let's not do in a display case. That's not working. I'm actually gonna put on a neutral brown background. So anyways, just trying different things. Ooh, I like this. So thank you so much for these prompts. Cute forest creature, human hybrids.
Wow.
Interesting. Hybrids.
I like that.
That's adorable though too.
Here, if
Look,
you don't
mine's
mind,
working too. Mine's I'm gonna stick it on a little sort of like display pole.
Yeah, I like that.
And then so once again, it's all about creating the base, and then I don't know, hybrid. What else can you add? Can you add horns to this and see where we go? So good call.
Yeah. And if you don't mind switching to my screen, I want to show people something I think that they would like. So I generated this cute little guy here, and he has glowing fur and these cool little particles going around. So I created a layer mask to mask him out, but then you lose a lot of that fun glow around him. So then here's a cool trick. You can duplicate that layer, place that layer below the layer with the blending mode, or I'm sorry, with the layer mask, and on the second layer on the bottom, you can change the blending mode to screen, which adds the glow and those little particles. But then, you know, we see a little bit of that white box, but then you can create a curves adjustment layer, clip it to a layer below so that adjustment layer is only controlling that layer with the screen blending mode. And if you just crush the blacks, they'll become invisible, but then the highlights are still there and it creates that cool glowing effect. Second trick, if you create just a circle like this below him and blur it, what you can do is double click to the side of the layer, change the blending mode to color dodge, and pro tip, a lot of people don't know this, with color dodge, you can uncheck this box called transparency shapes layers, and look at that glow it creates. See the difference? Look at that.
Transparency shapes
layers with color dodge. And there's actually 8 blending modes that give you a different result when you uncheck this box.
Yeah.
But then with opacity and fill, you also get different results. Look at opacity. Now compare that to the fill. It looks like the glow is, the light that, you know, the light effect that is creating, it looks much better. It looks like you're getting dimmer light. So I can, you know, create a cool glow under my little character here. And yeah, that's one way of adding glows and things like that to your composites in Photoshop. And obviously you can just spend a lot more time fine-tuning it till you get something that works for you.
Yeah, that's adorable, and that's into things that, like, I don't know, I've been using Photoshop for a while and I've never used that checkbox. Just to be honest with you. And that's okay.
Yeah,
we can still be friends, can't we?
No, I don't know. I'm reconsidering now. Up until you mentioned that, I would have said yes. Yeah.
Really, Paul?
That was it. Really, Paul? There we go. Anyway, so there's my cute little guy. And I'm going to look at the chat and see if there's any other cool prompts that I can use. Oh, I haven't added my butterfly into my scene yet. I'll do that. And I'll also generate something else.
And feel free to, if you want to switch over to my screen, as you kind of look for prompts, you can just switch over here, which is like, again,
wow,
fun for me. We have that. I have my other elements that I'm working on. Still need to clean it up, but I brought in some of those objects. In fact, I have this background that I could use. Just speaking of something like, you know, getting something dramatic. But here's a character. Here's a character. Here's like a little podium. So will this, you know, is there, and again, I know the lighting is all off, so bear with me, which is probably, I put a different background back there, but just to kind of give you, like, oh yeah, that's maybe a little better. Okay, so now we're getting someplace. But again, we have our podium that exists right in front of the bookshelf. We have our magical image created from Firefly, and we'll just kind of drop that on, sort of like so. You guys get the idea. There we are. So there's one. Let's take a look at our other fish right here. Easy enough. This one will be good. Shortcut key for smart objects. It's not quite fascinating enough, but you know, we'll just put it right here, and then we'll play with some more interesting things. In fact, what's running right in the background, let's take a look. So I tried a fish-human hybrid, and I'm glad I didn't get anything like too crazy or gory. But this is probably where I'd use a word like surreal. Fantasy, surreal. By the way, where does a lot of this come from? So we could do a number of words. I'm going to switch over to another browser. Just scroll through all of this, because find something that's like super trippy and cool. First off, this magical wonderland, surrealism, psychedelic.
Ooh, that's words, a good word. Yeah, I'm gonna try that word actually.
Yeah, try those. Surreal, like still even back to that the caterpillar, like awesome, like fun, fuzzy, psychedelic.
There's an interesting question in the chat, Paul. What do you think? How many details are worth putting into the prompt?
As you could, the more specific, the better off you are. So if you have a really clear vision, add it in there. So for me, in fact, I could show you my shortcut for my stuff real fast.
Another secret shortcut.
Yeah. So I literally just type in this. I use text expander. So I'll type in detail, and like I was doing in here for this. We'll go in here and we'll type in detail. And now it gives me all that majestic, mystical, highly detailed. It's gonna get weird.
Yeah.
It's gonna get weird, people. So you want to save this? I use high res. I don't know if HD or HDR does anything.
Okay.
You'll find prompts out there like, does this do anything? Does it really influence the image? But you run it and you see what happens. I could already tell you, it added hyper realistic down here. This already looks like. Sometimes if I add steampunk and Baroque and hyper-realistic, you'll get like, it starts to really add a ton of detail. So just kind of on that note, jump in, click those two boxes. We need something more than fish. I think fish is the blowfish whale. This whale, that shark. Blowfish, shark. I'm trying to combine two different fish and trying to confuse it almost.
Have you ever confused it enough? Or do you think it...
I've gotten very weird, as you know.
Yeah.
I want to show that image that I made. I literally made that yesterday. One of the images. And I'm like, but this is what I'm talking about. Like, this is the weirdness that I'm looking for. Just a weird creature. Like, what are you? I don't know. It's like, I don't know either. But you know what? You're still a fish, and don't let anybody tell you otherwise. You're still a friend of ours. Just because, you know what? You're a little bit different. It's okay. We accept. Oh, yeah, that one. Look at that angle. Here's another thing I'm going to show you. So this is one thing I use for if I find like an angle that I like. Because I feel sometimes it's hard to get this three-quarter view.
Yeah.
I've tried three-quarter view. I haven't been that successful. But once I at least find an angle that I want, then I'll use definitely that as a reference image. And then cut out all this stuff. Let's just do, look at, okay, so I'm gonna run this again real, majestic animal, mystical, all that good stuff. Right down here, by the way, we can steer it more toward the reference image, but in this case, I might steer it more toward the prompt, but try to keep that same view, and it kind of does.
Okay.
But the animal's getting like super, super weird.
Wow.
So, and again, if I go in here, even if I tweak this a little bit, like this slider I feel like is pretty sensitive. So we'll let's gear it more toward the reference image, but now we're gonna throw in, oh yeah, vibrant is in there, colorful. I'm just playing around, guys. Let's steer it more toward the prompt and just see what happens. Try weird fish, thank you. Agoon, thank you for that. That's why I appreciate you guys. Just
We wouldn't
give
be
me-
anywhere without you. Thank you.
Oh, I know. So, anyways, yeah, I got some freaky things going on. Majestic horse. So I'm just gonna get even more weird. And can I do something else?
Yeah. What do you want to do?
Well, I just wanted to do. I'm just gonna click on this. You'll have to give me a second. Actually, I could do. Yeah, I kind of, maybe I'll actually just show you to buy you more time.
All right.
Is that cool? I'm buying you
please.
some more
Yeah,
time.
thank you. I appreciate it.
Because it gets to it, this time lag goes so fast. I'm gonna open up something I made last night. So let's just take a look at this, and I want to take a look at one of these characters, for instance, just so you know how all of this is put together. This is what I did. Let's do this, and then we'll switch back to this in Photoshop. But now we're gonna get freaky, and we're gonna have some fun.
Love it.
Because we're gonna do. This is the file name, like I said earlier. Grab the file name.
Mm-hmm.
Do surreal, psychedelic. Sometimes you might need to remove some of these spaces, but check this out. We'll just run this again, and we'll just get one of the characters out of that composite. Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Weirdness. It's a weird, colorful, mystical, twisted bird, and I'm just like, it's very Hieronymus Bosch meets Lisa Frank. Because it's all colorful. It doesn't really match my color palette, so that's when I'm going to start changing that as well. And that's why I'll remove colorful and PSY could. And let's do muted. And then let's change, rather than me having to worry about that, let's just change this to muted color. It's going to be even easier. And then I'm going to run this, and I'm going to pass it off to you when you're ready. Okay. Just to see what we get, and then you got some fun stuff over there. This matches my color palette, so that's where I'm at. That's where I'm gonna integrate some of this crazy stuff into the weird bookshelves. But yeah, if we can
switch over. Let's see if mine
Jesus's.
works. I want to add all these cool particles all over my image, so I just typed in colorful particles overlay. See what happens. It might be a little too crazy, so I'm gonna change it up to colorful particles over black, just because I want a black background to make it easier to blend. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, and that's smart of you, because you don't want to have to worry about cutting that out.
Yeah, it's creating this explosion type thing that I'm not really sure if I like, but I'll still download it. Like we said, just keep downloading, and I don't know, maybe we could use it. But I don't know if you had much success with generating overlays, but that's something I do often with Adobe stock that I think might be kind of cool if we could incorporate that with Firefly.
Okay. That's what I want.
Yeah, so let's see. Colorful particles over black. How about just floating instead of floating colorful particles over black? And hopefully, I don't know. Oh wow, these are interesting. Oh, this is actually a cool one here. So I might actually incorporate that. But yeah, and we'll just take that one for example. I could just open it up in Photoshop, and like I said before, I was thinking about, the blending of it with the composite. So if I change the blending mode to screen, the background almost disappears. And like I said before, if you create an adjustment layer, this time we'll use levels, I can crush the blacks, and it makes the black pixels invisible and just keeps the bright ones. So now I can just incorporate that into my composite, create a smart object out of it, and then transform it and place it where I want. Maybe I can place it behind this character.
I like that. It's the color palette's appropriate for kind of where this is all going.
Definitely. So we'll see. And I'm probably just gonna place this guy back here. I don't know why that's happening. I'll figure it out.
Right. Story of my life.
Yeah.
Let's figure it out. We're all just,
just figuring it out.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I know what happened. So since I had a clip layer to it, the levels adjustment layer, it didn't come down. So I'm just gonna make it easier on myself, put everything into a group, and then just drag it down, and then there we go, that works. And now I can adjust this group in here and distort it and rotate it and do a bunch of fun stuff with it, and then mask it out. You know, something that I like to do, Paul, and I don't know if you ever do this, is on something like this, I don't know exactly how the mask is gonna end up looking. So what I like to do instead is hold Alt on Windows, Option on the Mac, click on the layer mask icon to create a black layer mask, and then just maybe paint in a few pieces, maybe because I don't want the entire thing.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
it's just too much. So, you know, just kind of.
Yeah, you did an Alt click on the layer mask.
Yes. And it makes a black mask. An inverted mask, I think, is the technical term, which just means the layer is black, so everything is hidden, and then you can just selectively paint things in. And sometimes, to me, that's easier than painting things out. I don't know, just the way my brain works.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I like the Alt trick for sure.
Oh, you know what? I just thought about something really, you want to hear something like really nerdy Photoshop thing?
Tell me.
So.
Talking to the right crowd. I'm into it.
Do you know what the difference is between a regular layer mask and an inverted layer mask in terms of expanding the canvas?
Regular layer mask versus an inverted layer mask?
Yeah, so let me show you an example. So if you have this group and you create a mask, right, it's black, right? And then if I just fill it with black to hide everything, it gives you the same result as if you were to hold Alt and then click on the layer mask icon. But in reality, it's not the same, because if you unlink the layer and use the move tool and you move, you'll realize that in reality what you made is a black box.
Yeah.
Right? And if you hold Alt on Windows, Option on the Mac, as you click on the layer mask, you'll also get the same result, but that's an infinitely black mask. And there you go.
And that's what you want.
And that's what I want.
Yeah. Totally. Yeah, that's so annoying. That's why I do like if you do a color fill layer instead of filling a blank layer with white.
Yes, exactly.
You know, that sort of thing. And, you know, it's taken me a while to figure that out.
Yep.
Do you want us? You can switch over to me if you don't mind. We'll just like take a look at our fun characters. So here's kind of where we left off. Remember, this is just our fun psychedelic. You drag that file into Photoshop, keep the file name, remove background, did the thing. Paint with black, invert, bring in some of this smart object, and again, we just have our like character. I'm not worried too much about the detail since it's going to be pretty small. Like, and that's one thing you think about, like, in terms of where is this going to be displayed?
Yeah.
Like, how much do you get into the detail if you're just going to post to Instagram, and you're going to lose a lot of that at 1024 by 1024.
No, I agree.
Like, you probably try to work at the highest resolution possible.
Sure.
But at the end of the day, you're like, I could spend all weekend on this, knowing that you, and that probably happens to you too. Like, you end up, it's sad. You'll work on something that's gorgeous on your laptop, and then when you post to Instagram and you lose all the detail.
Yep. Absolutely.
You know, I feel like, you know, because this is what people do is they, especially if you're working on something pretty complex, you'll do a multi-page and then zoom in on some of the details.
Yeah.
Just because you just lose so much of it. Let me switch my fantasy. Are you ready for this? So again, that brings us to like this one, and this is what I was showing a second ago. So go back to our character. Here's what we like generated based on that prompt, and then you can kind of see them in this scene that where things just get a little freaky. That's all. Again, we went to the. I feel like this cabinet had a little door on it. The Cabinet of Curiosity has a little door that led to an alternate universe where all these crazy animals exist. Or like a Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe situation. It's just another universe is all I'm saying. But isn't this stuff kind of cool? I don't know. I liked it. Man, I didn't spend any time on this, by the way. Like, there's so many. If you looked at it closer, you would realize so much of this doesn't blend in well, which is why I'm panning around. Don't look too closely.
Yeah, but if you zoom out and see it at 100.
Zoom out, and this is a situation where, like, here, once I post this on Instagram, I'll do probably maybe like a 3 parts.
Right.
But like,
so
I think
like
it'll lose a lot
each
of
part,
those.
basically.
1080 on each part.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. How do you? Well, we'll talk about that. We only have 5-ish minutes.
Oh my God.
Dang it! Come on. come on, Adobe, can we get some more time? Can you stop time for us so we can work on these individual designs a little closer? And like you said, once you get something good, you can start to modify it. Crocodile generate. Not enough time. Like, we're expecting perfection in an hour, and then we get mad at ourselves when we don't have something perfect by the end of it. But here's your cabinet of curiosities. Look at this weird thing. It's like, oh, look what we found. This is a real animal that exists somewhere. That's what this guy at the traveling circus does. It's like, oh yeah, this is a real alligator. So that's kind of the idea.
I don't know how you guys are, but I wouldn't call it a phobia, but maybe it is. But I am terrified of those things.
Oh, crocodiles and like
both.
alligators.
Alligators. Yeah. How about you? Is there any animal that particularly freaks you out?
You know, even if it's actually, no, not inherently.
Okay.
But if something, I don't care if it's a spider or a snake. If there's a squirrel in my backyard, walked outside, starts rushing toward me.
Okay.
That'll freak you out. I don't care how cuddly it
100%.
is.
Yeah.
Are you coming to attack me?
Yeah.
Even though you're cute and cuddly?
Yeah,
Please tell me you're coming to give me a hug. But it looked like it just severely, really wanted some nuts. So, any questions in chat? Looking at this. How would colorful atoms? I love this concept
that's a good
of
one. Yeah.
atom, like DNA sequence situation. And that's where I'd go back to holographic bright mineral atom and photon atoms and photons. I don't even know what photons are. But you know what? We're gonna have that atom type look, right? Yeah, right. So again, this is what I love about this. Like, we get to just kind of have fun, and it doesn't have to make full sense.
Yep.
But the spirit of what we're going for,
100%.
and hopefully what you're going for, would be great, Agun. So there you have like an atom type look. So yeah, that's fun. Some photons. I don't know. Like, look at that.
I mean, this is very reminiscent of, I just saw the movie Ant-Man 3, and there's a lot of this photon,
in the quantum
realm, yeah. Exactly.
Which, I don't know what you thought of this, but like, that gives me the same vibes, the bright colors.
No, I like it.
Totally into it. I don't know if it belongs on the cabinet shelf, but that's okay. We have plenty of other things. Somebody also requested like faces and things, so I wanted to cover that real fast.
Yeah, let's do it.
Here's just like an ultra realistic image of a baby in a car seat. It generated 3. What I do want to point out is like one thing we work hard at is like sort of like having all of humanity represented. So showing diversity in these images.
Yeah.
And personally, I think all babies look the same. Like, they're all the same till about maybe 4 or 5.
I'll tell you what, they all laugh the same. I don't know if you notice. All babies laugh the same. It's very adorable.
Stop it already. Cute kids. But again, you can clearly see sort of that this does show the diversity of what's going on here. And I tried a ton of other things. But okay, here's another one. Babies in a car seat. This one actually... Oh, so this is interesting. So I did an ultra realistic image of a baby. I wouldn't put image in there. I don't know why that's in there. It's unnecessary.
Okay.
Like, it's just unnecessary. But right in here, this is actually get more realistic. Keeping it kind of vague, letting it choose from as large of a data set as possible for a baby gives us like better results.
I mean,
so sometimes
they all look
vague,
real.
Yeah, they all look pretty realistic.
Yeah.
Still a case where I might just use Adobe stock.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what we were doing. Like, we were literally using Adobe stock for like when to use the right tool. And
exactly.
That's what you want to do at the end of the day.
And I think that's the key for Firefly and anything else that Adobe offers. They're just tools that you get to choose and pick from and use the one that's best for the project at hand.
Yeah, exactly. And it helps to know you do want to use the best tool for the job. Oftentimes, the best tool for the job is the one you know. So there's no, like, objectively, there might be a right answer. But,
sure.
But really, you want to have like knowledge like you do of whether it's a little bit of 3D, Firefly, and all this, and when to use the right tool is the goal.
That's a really cool looking alligator.
Oh yeah, let's put it on the shelf. I know it kind of freaks you out. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's all right.
We're gonna make it really small.
Stay away from it.
We're gonna make it friendly. And you know, we are in Photoshop, so we can give it a smile
Fabulous.
as well. But again, once you're in here, you can do all the thing you need to. So let's wrap it up. It's time to wrap it up. Oh,
All right.
Jesus, did the time go too fast, buddy?
It was way too fast, man. Way too fast.
Stop it. Dang it. Firefly can do a lot, can't control time.
Unfortunately. Not yet.
But I guess that's what makes this sweet is our time together. I love hanging out with Jesus. And thank you. Did you have a good time?
It was great, man.
Yeah.
I loved it. And thank you for all the suggestions. I included the penguin and almost everything people
And
suggested.
we're gonna consider them our own ideas. Like we came up with
we
it.
came up with it.
Just kidding.
Yeah.
But thanks everybody. Jesus Ramirez,
Trani.
Photoshop training channel. Stock them online, and yeah, we'll hopefully see you there. Thank you, everybody.